Hi guys, welcome back to At Home with Holly. My name's Holly and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. So it's a snowy, gross day outside here in Northwest Ohio. And so I decided I've been really enjoying eating the soups that we made together. We made roasted tomato basil and leek and potato soup. It's like soup weather for me right now. Just something I can grab, pint size, warm it up, perfect meal in a jar basically. So I was looking at what I still had left to preserve, and I had a couple bags of tomatoes that were just thrown in the freezer from the garden, just frozen whole. So I put them in the fridge last night to thaw, which means that when I pull the bags of them out, I can just slip them out of their skins. So it's perfect for diced tomatoes or anything like that. So, and I still have some diced bell peppers that need used up. So I found a recipe for unstuffed pepper soup. I'm excited about that because I love stuffed peppers. We've made some together. So that would be a fun one to try. So I'm going to do unstuffed pepper soup. And then also for breakfast, I have been eating breakfast burritos and stuff like that that I can make ahead of time. And I'm really craving some granola and yogurt. So, and I've got all these beautiful jams and jellies that I made. And I like to sweeten my yogurt and granola with that. So I wanted to have some homemade granola on hand. And Becky from Acre Homestead Scratch Pantry website has a really great base granola recipe. So today I want to make some granola and some unstuffed pepper soup. So let's get started. For the granola, we need 6 cups of rolled oats, 3 cups of nuts, sweetener, flour, water, egg whites, vanilla, oil, salt. I've got quick cooking oats and I think I need rolled oats. Rolled oats, nuts, more nuts, sweetener, flour, eggs, oil, vanilla, and salt. We need a bowl to put it all in. We need some measuring. Okay. Basically, we're going to put it all in the bowl, mix it up, put it in the oven. Couldn't be easier than that. So, there's 3 cups chopped nuts. I have some walnuts that need used up, but I also got some pecan, I know y'all. Got some of these that need used up too, and I think they would taste yummy in this. So, are these already toasted? Oh my gosh, all that work for 1 cup. Okay. 1. If you hear my doorbell go off a lot, it's just the motion sensor. My daughter and her friends are trying to build snowmen with the quickly melting snow. And they're going back and forth between my house and the next door neighbors, trying to scrape up all the snow that they can. So I apologize if you guys are checking your doorbells at home right now. I also could have thrown this in the food processor. But I don't mind running my knife through stuff and taking the time to enjoy it. Okay, so we're doing all the pecans, no walnuts today, which is okay. Because walnuts are not my favorite, and I'd rather save them for pesto or something yummy like that. Okay, got nuts in there. Looks like I need to refill my flour from my 5-gallon. I buy my flour, sugar, rice, oats, all that kind of stuff in bulk from Azure Standard. It's cheaper. And then I just keep them in 5-gallon containers in my pantry and refill when I'm running low, the little containers in here. Okay, then we need, let's see, 1 1/4 cup of some kind of sweetener. I don't have any more maple syrup. I have honey, I have brown sugar. So I think I'm going to do 1 cup of brown sugar and like 1/4 cup of honey. We'll see. I think that sounds good. Or I'm just going to do another 1/4 cup of brown sugar because that way I don't have to go get the honey. Since this is already out, it's going to taste good either way. Use what you got. And then let's see, 1/2 cup of water. Obviously, I'm not being super exact, but pretty close. 2 egg whites, a tablespoon of vanilla. We made this vanilla together. Feels like a tablespoon. Okay, 3/4 cup of oil. We just made garlic infused avocado oil together. Oh my gosh, that is incredible. Need to refill that too. Okay, that looks about right. 2 teaspoons of salt. 1, 2. You can also add dried fruit. I think I'm just going to leave this plain and then I'll add in the jam or jelly as I want it. And then, okay, we need some egg whites. I've got some of my younger chickens laid smaller eggs. So what I'm going to do is I'll take the egg whites, put them in this recipe, and keep the egg yolks for a different one. They are smaller eggs. Oops. So I'm going to use 3 instead of 2. Oops. You guys. My goodness gracious. Okay. Never mind. We're not using that one. Okay, egg whites are in. Let me get a spoon to get this mixed up. I probably should have preheated the oven. You can do that now. $300 degrees. I kind of want a thick, chunky granola. I was thinking about putting it on 2 baking sheets, but kind of want a thicker one. So I'm going to leave it like that. Now, that tastes awesome. Okay, we're going to put it in the oven for 20 minutes, flip it, 20 more minutes, and then it's going to cool completely and be all done. So in the bottom of this Dutch oven, I have some avocado oil that has garlic. I can't think. Garlic infused avocado oil from making roasted confit garlic yesterday. So I'm going to put this ground beef right into the pan, and that's going to just layer in another excellent layer of flavor. So I get my beef from a local farmer. I get it a quarter at a time, and it's grass-fed, grass-finished, and the price per pound is just awesome. And I can go visit the cows because they are 10 minutes away from where I live, maybe 15 away from where I live. So I love being able to support local farmers. I have a third of an acre. It's a little difficult to grow your own beef on a third of an acre. So I don't mind getting help from a local farmer and supporting them. I can't grow everything. I'm not an artisan cheesemaker. I am not could I learn it if I had to? Sure. But are people better at it than me so I can support them? Yep. So for beef, for pork, for those things, I love supporting my local farmers. I don't really have a good local pork connection for pasture raised or, woodland raised pork. So that I get from Butcher Box. But okay, we've got the ground beef in there. I'm going to get it on the flame and get it to start browning. And then it's almost time to flip our granola. Okay, gonna get this back in the oven for another, what does it say, 20, 25 minutes? 20 to 30 minutes. So yeah, we'll check it another 25. I'm gonna go ahead and season my beef with salt and pepper. And then I'm gonna let it continue cooking until it has some really good color on that side before I flip it. Brown food equals flavor. And especially because this is going to be going in a canning recipe, we want this to get as much brown flavor as possible. So, got my peppers that have been half thawed, half not. Ooh. Okay, so when you freeze tomatoes whole and you thaw them, a lot of the liquid that you would have to boil off is in the bag. Some people like to save this. I am not going to do that today. The other great thing is when you open them up, they will just slip right out of their skins. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get as many as we need for our recipe collected, and we'll kind of go from there. I'm going to weigh out how many tomatoes I need because you want to get these kind of correct when you're canning. $60 ounces. These skins are great if you want to dehydrate them and turn them into tomato powder and use them for flavoring or thickening things. All kinds of things can be done with the tomato skins. Now these were the last 2 bags of tomatoes from 2023 in my freezer. The rest of them we have turned into tomato sauce, marinara, pizza sauce, oops, that was brother, pizza sauce, roasted tomato basil soup, all kinds of things. All right, we're at 3 pounds. We're going to go just shy of 4 pounds. I am squeezing out some of the seeds. I don't mind if some of them get in here, but I am trying to make it more meaty than seeds. And a lot of these were cherry tomatoes or slicers in this bag. So I am kind of squeezing out some of the more liquidy things. I'm going to feed this to my compost worms. They're going to love it. We're going to put our beef in a bowl, and then we're going to cook our onions and peppers in that same pan that we cooked the beef in. We've got beef. So there's not a lot of fat from grass-fed, grass-finished beef. However, there was a lot of avocado oil, garlic-flavored avocado oil. Not a lot, maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons of it at the bottom of this. So mixed with what little fat did come off of the grass-fed, grass-finished beef, there's some lovely flavor at the bottom of this pan, and we don't want to waste it. So I'm going to get all of the bits of beef out, and then I'm going to add onions and peppers to this pan, and we're going to get them cooking in that flavor. Now, let's see, bell pepper, 2/3 of a cup of diced onion, but we have diced shallots that we prepared together. So I'm going to do 4 cups of bell pepper. All right, we're a little short on those, but that's okay. They were kind of heaping ones anyways. So we're just a half of one short. I think it'll be okay. It says 6 cloves of garlic minced. I'm going to add confit garlic. I'm going to add this many. And that's what's happening in this recipe. So that's what we're doing. All right, let's get this back on the stove. I'm gonna slice up these tomatoes. 2 cans of tomato sauce, which I have, that we made together. And we need 3 cans of beef broth. I've got more bones in the deep freezer from the quarter of a cow, and I need to get them roasted and made into broth. Okay, so we've got, let me check on that granola. I think I want to give it, this is pretty thick. I'm going to give it a little while longer. Should I take these out and dice them? Yes. Will this work just fine? Yep. So we're going to do this. Stir it up, see if we can get any big chunks to surface. I think that's so pretty with the red and the yellow and orange tomatoes. Love that. Okay. Tomatoes are diced. Beef is browned. These jars are ready to go. Let's get these cooking a little bit. I'm going to make up some Italian seasoning because I don't have any. This is not in the Italian seasoning. This is just what I know is going to taste good. So I'm adding garlic powder, onion powder, marjoram, garlic chives, oregano, basil, and salt and pepper. Some parsley flakes too, because I have them, so I might as well use them up. I'm just kind of crushing up the dried herbs to mix them all up, to kind of wake them back up, release a little bit of that oil. Okay, we're going to do this the way that I do all of my canned soups, honestly, is I just kind of line them up like assembly line, fill them all at once, wipe the rims, put the lids on, and then I'll put them in the canner in probably 2 rounds because it should make about 12 jars. I'll put them in my digital pressure canner and we'll get these going. So let me get the canner ready and the jars. Okay, let's get these jars filled. So I've got all of my jars lined up. I'm going to do, what should we do first? I'll do some beef first. Actually, I'm going to do the diced tomatoes first. Granola's done, but I already turned the oven off. We'll just let that stay in there and come down to room temperature. Okay, tomatoes done. Next, we'll do the peppers, onions, and garlic mixture. We'll start with this. I'll probably end up going back, but we'll start with this. Beautiful. Okay, next we will do some beef. We'll do some beef. Okay, next I'm going to do the seasoning mixture that we made. I mean, that was perfect. Okay, now we're going to top off with tomato sauce and then broth. I love cooking with ingredients that we preserved together. I love cooking with ingredients that I preserved because it means that I'm growing the things that I'm actually going to eat, and I love that. So, this smells so yummy. Okay, I need to get my debubbler and broth ready. This is going to be good. Okay. We've talked before about how when you can broth, you can have ugly broth or pretty broth. You can really, really strain it well, use like a nut bag to get all the little sediment out, or you can just really quickly put it in a jar. Sometimes I do pretty, sometimes I don't. So if I don't do the pretty ones, I usually don't use it the end of the jar, just because that's where all the little like pieces of the vegetables fell and all that kind of stuff. So I usually just use all but the littlest, all but the end. We're going to 1 inch headspace. So I'm going to definitely going to have to wipe off these rims. Now, we don't ever can again with these lids, but I do save these lids. When I do stuff like confit garlic, I'll reuse these lids that have gone through the dishwasher again. I won't can, like pressure can or water bath can with them. They're not safe to use for that. But I do try to use them more than once just to get a little more bang for your buck. So I'll use them for herbs or spices or anything. So I just throw them in the dishwasher in the silverware part, and that's where they will get cleaned. Okay, debubble the last of these, and then lots of cleaning the rim here, because these I was not very careful with and they are a little bit messy. Okay. We use white vinegar to clean the rims because it cuts through the fat and the grease or whatever it is that you may have gotten on the outside of the jar. And then this is also the time where you can kind of feel your jars and think, does that a little nick or a scrape? That way you can kind of inspect your jars. We always inspect them more than once. Inspect them, and even still, eventually you will get jars that break because you use them a lot. But I haven't had jars break, really. I've had some nicks just based on me being a little rough with them, but for the most part, they're pretty tough. Okay, we're gonna get these in the canner and they are going to pressure can. I'm gonna do them 6 at a time. So I'll do 2 rounds. These are gonna pressure can for 60 minutes at my altitude. You cannot water bath can things with meat and then you have to pressure can. So we're gonna pressure can these for 60 minutes. I love the digital pressure canner because it just does all the work for me. It says insert jars. I do. It's going to warm it up. It's going to tell me what to do every step of the way. Just beep at me till I do it. It's going to do it and pressure can it, automatically come down to pressure, tell me when it's okay to take it out, and then I'll put the next round in and I'll bring you back for what this looks like at the end. Ooh, yep, this is exactly what we were looking for. Okay, I'm going to let this cool completely. And then I will store it in an airtight container for a few weeks, and I will use it on oatmeal, not oatmeal. I will use it as my granola with my yogurt, and I'm just so excited. So I will give you guys a look at what this looks like when the jars come out and when this is inside the container. I just want to say thank you so much for spending time with me today as we got done another 2 yummy food-related projects. I love being able to use stuff that we grew or locally sourced to provide easy, nutritious, yummy meals for my family. So I want to thank you guys again so much for all the likes and the comments and the shares. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. It means so much to my family. I appreciate you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye, friends. Beautiful.